everyone, it's NECA, and this is Everything. This is a game that I'm very familiar with. Even though it's a game that I haven't played in a long time, I remember it being a game that I would just relax to, and a game that I think about life to. This isn't necessarily going to be a video focused on the game, just me reflecting on my life and kind of things that have been going on. I'm gonna try to keep it short because I've been trying to record this video for well over an hour, and it's just hard for me to get my emotions and thoughts out, especially since I'm still grieving about what's been going on. So I apologize if you came here for the game, but it's not necessarily about that. It's more just me sharing my thoughts. A lot's been going on this past week. For reference, I'm recording this on May 5th. And I haven't been talking to a lot of people about what's been going on. Not even the people who I've come to trust. Because that's kind of how I grieve about things. I just keep everything to myself. And by the time this video comes out, I'm probably in a better headspace and everything, but I wanted to record today some more Alan Wake, but I felt like I was a little too low energy to start doing that. During this week, I've lost relationships. I've lost year-long friendships. I've lost my phone that I've had for years. And I've just felt lost. And it's hard to think about that. I've been so lost. And even my own thoughts. Like I've said, I've tried recording this video for over an hour. And I just can't get my feelings across in my own words. And I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. I don't want to overshare. I don't want to emotion dump. I don't want to do anything unhealthy. I just want to relax and be in me. And just consider what's been going on. Like, in so many words that I can say is, when a friendship or when a relationship ends in general, it's, in my eyes, it's appropriate to let people grieve the way they want to. And maybe that's not what I've been experiencing lately. Maybe that's not how everyone else thinks. But I feel like if it doesn't really concern you, that you should just let things be as they are, you know? But I've been pulled into unnecessary drama that shouldn't have even been there in the first place. And it's been really difficult for me to focus on anything. Focus on my work, focus on myself. And that's really what I need in my life right now, is to just focus on myself. And this isn't me trying to be selfish. This isn't necessarily me wanting to close off from the rest of the world. This is just something that I need in my life to function as a normal individual. To have my own free space. And to think about myself for once. 'Cause normally I put everyone else before me. That's usually how I go about life. And it's not the healthiest. I know that. But I'm kind of a people pleaser in that sense. But it's natural for people to want to have their own space to be themselves and to, I don't know. It's just natural to have your own freedom to be who you are. And that's kind of what I get with my channel. It's the creative freedom that I have with it. It's what started me in my journey on this platform in the first place, and it's something that I'm continuing with. Even though now my channel has evolved to focus more on the viewers and everything, it's still my creative freedom, and it's something that I'm very much proud of. But I've also come to think lately that even letting go of my channel and focus on the things that I need to get done. Even though, like, doing 2 videos a week has been something that I've imposed on myself, no one asked of. It's draining sometimes. But it's something that I know people have come to love and appreciate. But every now and then I get that thought in my head, like... It's kind of like that song by The Midnight, River of Darkness. You know, would anyone even notice if I slipped away? Which I know that there would be those individuals who would notice. But at the same time, I'm sure the majority of people wouldn't. And it's kind of a depressing thought to have. But at the same time, it's sort of accurate to, like, how things have been going on in my life lately. I've had friends who I've had for years who I've now known that they've either always thought negatively about me or would just insinuate things about me after having heard one person's warped frame perspective on myself have it entirely come apart. And I'm so scared of, like, losing that friend group that I've most likely already lost. That group that I felt was that safe space to always go to hang out with, to love and appreciate all their individual uniquenesses. It's all sort of crumbled lately. And I'm really trying to reconsider what it means to have friends. And what the definition of a friend really is. It's just a lot of emotions and deep thoughts that have been going on in my mind lately. So it's hard to... I apologize that it's really hard to think about. I'm someone who grew up with very little friends in any aspect of my life, really. Growing up in school, I feared making friends. Or I craved making friends, rather. But eventually it led to having people, like, maybe not necessarily people who are good people to begin with, but it's people who I always gave the benefit of doubt to. I would have people tell me that I was annoying, that I was bothering them. And I kind of let that dictate, like, the majority of my life. Not reaching out to people in ways that I probably could to, and I probably have every right to, as a friend, to reach out to people in particular. But I never would, because I never would want to bother them. That's just kind of how I was built and how I was raised. So when a big event, like what has happened in my life recently, transpires, it leads me to just be by myself and just not talk to anyone about it. Just grieve on my own about these certain things. But I have been kind of forced into this drama that doesn't need to be there. And I apologize if I am repeating myself. But as I said, I have been attempting over and over to record this video, so I don't know what I've said yet. I don't know if I've said this now, if I've said it in a recording that I just completely scrapped. I just have a lot of jumbled thoughts. And they are deep thoughts, and they are somewhat painful thoughts, even. The thing that has been hurting me most is the loss of these friendships, these friend groups who I've known and loved for so long. And it sucks because I've always craved having a friend group like that. I've always craved being friends with people and sharing experiences with one another. And I had a lot of fun with these friends. But I can't control their perceptions about me. I can't control anything like that. I can just kind of move on if, like, they are to insinuate that I'm a bad person in any way. Not that I am the best individual out there. You know, no one's perfect. No one should strive for perfection when, you know, people themselves are imperfect. Humanity themselves are imperfect. But at least give people the benefit of the doubt, or listen to their side of the story before insinuating things about them. At least that's what I do. I always try to give the benefit of the doubt to any individual. But to hear these negative things spoken about me, and to hear them talk bad about me, and to hear them insinuating bad things about me, just makes me not want to even bother talking to them at all. It just makes me want to say goodbye to them. It's nothing that I ever wanted to do, but it's technically not something that I can really control. I just have to be choosing of who I open up to. Because as someone who is an introvert, as someone who doesn't like to bother people, as someone who keeps to themselves, I don't really open up to everyone, and I've been striving to open up to people because I like exchanging dialogues with other people. I like hearing their own unique perspectives on things, and I just love people in general. And I tried my best to build these friendships with them. As difficult as it is for me. As difficult as it is to break these barriers that I have on myself. I still strive my best. It's just really hard, even now, to share my thoughts and emotions about this. Even as I'm by myself. It's just that I don't even know what to say at times. It's just unbelievable that I have to rethink of these things and reconsider some things in my life that I thought were perfect. You know, I had these friends. I had this friend group. I had these people who I thought I could rely on, who I could hang out with, who wouldn't judge me in the things that I do, who would be open and honest with me, who would share their thoughts with me, and who would just give me the benefit of doubt like I give to them. Another thing that kind of happened in my life is, like, I've had to really reconsider my financial growth. And although I do make much more than I used to make, and I don't necessarily let finances control my life, I don't know. It's, lately, the biggest thing that happened that made me have to really reconsider my finances is my phone broke, and I had to spend over $400 getting it replaced and getting the old one repaired as much as I can. Currently my old phone is still in the shop being worked on, because everything transferred from my old phone to my new one except for the photos, and the photos are the most important part that I needed to get transferred, and it didn't end up happening. So hopefully they can get it fixed. I'm really nervous about it though, because there was a lot of important things on there that I didn't necessarily want to lose, and there was a lot of things on there that concerned the content that I create, like on here on YouTube, on Instagram, and it'll be hard to lose any of that, because a lot of that is irreplaceable. I'm not necessarily a materialistic person. I'm not sad that my phone has broken because I lost some sort of memories or anything like that. But I have been losing a lot in my life lately, and that was just one thing that was put on top of it. And because I had to spend that much money, it's made me reconsider my financial place in life. I don't make a lot of money doing what I do. I edit for YouTube, for Blondie Rocks. They give me enough to live off of. That's what I always like to tell them. And that's something that I've been okay with for a long time. But I don't know. I know I shouldn't quit with Blondie and seek jobs elsewhere, because I wouldn't want to do that to their content. But that would just mean that my content has to suffer if I do end up finding a second job. And I've come so far with this channel. I don't necessarily want to give it up, but maybe in my best interest, I need to. Maybe it's in my best interest to just focus on things that I need to get done rather than things that I want to do. I know nothing's gonna change right now because of all the things that have been going on and how busy I've been with making all the stuff that I need to. With the channel, with Blondie's videos. I shouldn't go and seek that kind of extra work when I already have a lot on my plate as it is. But I feel like there'll eventually come a time where I do need to make a difficult decision, and most likely what will fall to the wayside is this channel. And it's not gonna happen anytime soon, most likely. But I will let anyone and everyone know if it ever gets to that point. I'm not sure if I've necessarily said this already, but I guess this kind of like came to mind when a content creator that I follow, Gerard the Completionist, said this lately in one of his videos that, you know, he wonders that if anyone would even notice if he suddenly one day stopped making videos, which, in my perspective, like, yes, of course I would notice. But from his perspective, I totally understand and immediately empathize with, because, you know, everyone has their own life that they're going through. Their own things, their own struggles. And if nothing is in your immediate vantage, if it's nothing that's necessarily controlling or concerning to you, then it shouldn't concern you to begin with. But I've been put in this kind of position with the people who I've known and trusted for so long, just to be in the middle of this drama that I never wanted to be in. Drama that never needed to exist in the first place. The insinuations that other people have been breeding onto the kind of person I am. And I'm not necessarily one to be concerned with how other people see me. But when it comes from a friend, people who you've known for a long time, that's when it really hurts. I know going forward in my life, I really do need to figure out what friendship really means to me and redefine what a friend is. Because even those who I thought were friends of mine would just do things that normally a friend probably wouldn't do. I've definitely learned a lot these past few weeks from how I should go about with myself, with others, getting to know other people, and constantly striving to be the best me I can be, no matter how people's perceptions of me falter, no matter how people falsely insinuate things about me. Because at the end of the day, like, you are the only you that you have in life. And just because other people don't think that you're a genuine person doesn't mean that you're not. Like, for a fact, I always strive to be the best me that I can be. And that's how I really would recommend anyone else think. You know, never put anyone else down just because other people tell you that maybe they're a certain way, or maybe, I don't know. I feel like I'm really rambling and not necessarily having an antiquated talk or thoughts of really what's happening. But I guess that's kind of correlated to how I have been feeling. Because I've been feeling very confused and lost. I think I'm going to call the video here. I know maybe a lot of my thoughts and the things I've been saying haven't necessarily made much sense, but I don't know, I just hope that maybe some of you can have your own deep thoughts about what's been going on in your life. Because it's really good sometimes to just think about, like, and ground yourself into the reality of what's happening in any particular situation that you're in. But maybe that's just me. I know I can't necessarily control how other people like to go about things, but really the bottom line is I just wish that others would understand that, like, if something doesn't necessarily concern you, then you shouldn't really fuel the fire to any drama that might not even be around in the first place. It's just really upsetting, everything that's been happening. And I really wouldn't wish it on anyone to lose their friends the way that I have. I apologize if this video's been rather depressing, in a sense. I always strive to remain positive on my channel, to not record if I'm, like, feeling down like this, but I felt like I need to also be very much able to, in a way, invest myself in the work. You know, step out of my comfort zone a little bit, just to get out of my head about all this. Because at the end of the day, like, you can't let everything in your life weigh you down. You have to experience the good in all things. I may not even release this video, who really knows? But if it's out there and you're watching at this point, thank you very much for listening. Please in the comments, if you have the desire to, just sort of have your own soliloquy of your own. Exchange dialogues with one another. Like, expel your own deep thoughts. I'll make sure to monitor the comment section of this video quite closely, just so this is a safe place for people to kind of get it out, because if you're anything like me, you might not necessarily have friends or anyone else to, like, come out to and talk about these kinds of deep thoughts. But anyways, I suppose I'll end it here. So thank you all so much for watching if you have made it this far. I apologize that this is kind of like a haphazard video to make. I apologize for being sort of low energy, but I felt like I needed to share some of my thoughts in some ways to some people. Whether this video comes out or not is up to post-production NECA, but if you are watching this, thank you so much. Don't forget to help each other out in the comments. And just have a good day and take care. Goodbye.